I am literally in shock right now, probably with most of you. I have just found out that Ozzy Osbourne sadly has passed away, which is incredibly sad, but yet incredibly ironic since Ozzy was just part of the biggest charity event in history several days ago. So let's go ahead and dig into the Aussie news because I know nothing. I'm finding out along with the rest of you. Let me go ahead and see what has come up so far. It I think the news just came out 12 minutes ago. Well, Newsweek has it listed as 24 minutes ago. Let's go ahead and dive into that article from Newsweek. Ozzy Osbourne passes away surrounded by love at 76 years old, family says. And, the first thing, of course, that comes to mind is his daughter, Kelly Osbourne, just coming out within the last week saying, "My dad is not the D word. You got to be careful what we say now. We have to really certain trigger words. We have to be super careful. So I apologize for that, but you know what I'm trying to say." And she was defending her dad. And actually, I was, on the side of course, we all know that he's had Parkinson's for quite some time. We don't really know exactly how long. We know that I believe he released the fact that he had Parkinson's, I think in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But this article goes on to say the godfather of heavy metal and legendary frontman of Black Sabbath has passed away at the age of 76, just weeks after sharing an emotional farewell with fans at Villa Park. The humongous concert, which featured many, many, many artists, 9 hours long, the show was. Metallica was there, Guns N' Roses was there. And, this was Ozzy's goodbye to his fans. So a statement from the family reads, "It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning." It's just so crazy to me to even be reading this. "He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at this time." It just seems so crazy that the concert just happened. It's as if they knew. Really, it's as if the family knew what was coming. And they got Ozzy out there really just in the nick of time. The show that Ozzy did was for charity. And like I said, 9 hours long, ended up becoming the biggest charity event in history, bigger than anything else. Live Aid, Farm Aid, anything. So that has to say something. The 76-year-old rocker performed from a throne on stage, thanking fans from the bottom of my heart. And like I have said several times in the past, all Ozzy wanted to do was to get onto that stage one more final time. Okay, so he was diagnosed with Parkinson's and had ongoing health issues since a 2019 fall. And remember that whole thing? He fell in his bathroom and he hurt his spine and I believe his neck as well. And from there, it seemed like he just had health issue after health issue. Of course, he was part of MTV's The Osbournes, and I feel like that was really the first real reality show that we had exposure to on TV. Ozzy has 2 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions, 5 Grammys, and many other awards. Of course, Ozzy is survived by Sharon Osbourne, his wife, and 5 children from 2 marriages. Let's see who else is here. Hello, Debbie. Tanya, Laura, Kurt. It is real. It is real. Yeah, Ultimate Classic Rock, Newsweek. Kathy, Nancy, Donald. I mean, just, I don't know. It's so crazy. Let's see what else Let's see. Sky News says, again, surrounded by love. And it's Kurt is absolutely right. And by the way, everyone, not to intermingle this with other things, but Kurt just sadly lost his dad. Everyone, please send love to Kurt Andrews and his family. I'm so sorry to be doing it during this broadcast. I was going to do it during my other one, but since we're all here, everyone, please send lots of love out to Kurt and his family. So Ozzy pioneered heavy metal. Of course he did, with Black Sabbath. He went on to have a humongous solo career. He's known for his hits including Iron Man, Paranoid, War Pigs, Crazy Train, and Changes, both with the band and as a solo artist. Metallica put out a statement. Legendary American heavy metal band Metallica have responded to the news of Ozzy Osbourne's passing, and they posted something on Twitter. It's just a picture of them with Ozzy, and I'm not sure what year that is from. Oh, it's from 1986. And they posted that along with an emoji of a broken heart. Ozzy was born in 1948. His birth given name was John Michael Osborne. Grew up in Aston, Birmingham. He left school at the age of 15, did many, many jobs, including working in a factory before teaming up with school friend Geezer Butler, and they were part of several bands. He was known as, and he will always be known as, the Prince of Darkness and Godfather of heavy metal. He, of course, his fame came from his time with Black Sabbath, being their lead vocalist. And their 1970 album Paranoid is just iconic. He went on to have a successful solo career with Blizzard of Oz in 1980, featuring the humongous hit Crazy Train. Great song. And of course, he became MTV royalty with their show, The Osbournes. I mean, a show, of course, I grew up watching it. I'm sure most of you did as well. Ozzy was inducted into the UK Music Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in the United States, twice for both, with Black Sabbath and as a solo artist. He has a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as well as in Birmingham's Broad Street. 5 Grammy wins, 12 nominations. Other honors he has received include NME's Godlike Genius Award and Classic Rock's Living Legend Prize. Of course, there are many, many more. I've read the family statement. And again, just the fact that he passed away just after that huge show was done. You have to say, this really, to me, it turns into a spiritual thing at this point. It's like he was saved to do that show for himself and for his family and for the charities that they supported. And also, there is video footage of his daughter Kelly getting proposed to backstage, and I have to say, Ozzy looked good. He did. He looked good. He sounded good. I'm sure he was completely exhausted from that show. It must have taken a lot out of him. But just the fact that he passed, knowing that he went on stage that one final time, has, had to just do a lot for him as a performer and as a person, and for his family as well. Did it say where he passed? Let me go ahead and take a look, David. Let me see. Date of death is today. Let me see. Let's take a look. ABC Columbia. That just came out 6 minutes ago. That does not say where he passed. Let me just keep digging into this. Let's see if we can find out. I mean, the career he had, wow. Wow. Unbelievable. And did you know on his 65th birthday, December 3rd of 2013, he asked fans to celebrate his birthday by donating to the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity in London. I mean, him and Sharon, you say what you want about them and their crazy relationship. Let's be real. They had a crazy relationship. Ozzy did some crazy things, but they were always there to give back. I mean, the amount of money these people are worth, but they were always giving back right up until the very last moment. Let me see. It's not saying yet. But again, it's saying that Parkinson's disease, the complications from that is why he passed, but we just don't know that yet. Let me see if this article says where. I don't know if we're gonna get where. I'm guessing he was in the UK, right? I'm guessing he was back in his hometown or where they have a home. I mean, the show is at Villa Park. Um, let's see. And his first wife's name was Thelma Riley, and he has grandchildren as well. Let's see if it says anything on Ozzy's site. News. It does not even have anything on his own website yet. So I'm sure they're going to get something really nice together to put on there. So I just don't know. I mean, I would think. Let's see where he has homes. Hold on, homes. I'm thinking, if he has a home in Birmingham, I would guess homes, locations. Let's see. They have owned and sold several homes, including in LA and England, which didn't they just move to England as well, I believe, in the last year? They did have a home in Hancock Park, which they listed for 18 million. They also had a home in Beverly Hills, which was the one featured on MTV's The Osbournes. That was sold to Christina Aguilera. They had a condo in West Hollywood. Let's see. England, they have a property in Buckinghamshire. Like, how do you say that? I'm so sorry. I apologize for not saying it correctly, but that is where they had said not too long ago that they were planning on relocating. Now, let's go ahead and look at this article from Realtor.com. They sold their LA condo for 4.35 million back in October of 2024. They were preparing to leave the United States once and for all. And the 4.35 million that they did sell that condo for was listed 3 times, and it was for a pretty deep discount, I guess. And back in 2022, they said that they were looking to permanently move back to their home in the United Kingdom where they met after being here and living in the United States for 2 decades. So I'm guessing he passed in the UK. That's what I'm guessing. Let's see what else came out just recently. We'll go for the newest articles to see. It's just crazy to see that he's, oh my gosh, is this not crazy? It just feels so nuts. And, I started to talk briefly about Kurt had asked if this is real, and you do have to question everything now. You do. And my friend texted this to our group chat, and I'm like, I go, because there's just no way. And yeah, this is real. This is sadly real. Shannon, R.I.P. Ozzy, so heartbroken to hear this. Binge watching the Osbournes and basement tapes, and you made me laugh crazy. So sad. It is just. Eagles is, well, we do have a radio station. Kiki.fm. It's free in the App Store. If you'd love to take a listen, we appreciate that. And Godspeed, Ozzy, says Janice. Do you take requests? We do. You can do shout outs on the station, actually. If you go to the app, there's a button where you can do shout outs. So absolutely make a request. And Donald Duck says, crazy. I was listening to Black Sabbath's first 3 album records last evening, and today, up to this moment, it is weird. It is very, very weird.
Dude, it is true to Ozzy's dad at 6 Eastern.
Okay, so Al, the operator of the radio station, we're going to do a tribute to Ozzy Osborne today, 6 o'clock Eastern on Kiki.fm. Again, if you don't have the app, it's free in the App Store, Kiki.fm. My crazy pictures there. And you can hear it that way, or you can hear it on your laptop as well, your desktop. You can stream it. So 6 o'clock Eastern, a tribute to Ozzy Osborne. Let's see what other articles have just been released. Going for the newest ones here to see if there's any other material we need to know about. 7 minutes ago from the BBC. And it says one of rock and roll's greats for sure. I mean, he started it, right? He did. He was one of the ones to start it. Start crazy. Rock and roll is, you and I know it. I mean, our generation, of course, rock and roll was different with the Beatles and Elvis. And oh my gosh, I don't know why I've been watching Elvis stuff the last few days too. Hank Williams. I just watched a movie about him last night. Had no idea. Hank Williams was only 29 when he passed away. But boy, he was a crazy guy too. You just, there's a lot of these stories in rock and roll that Hank Williams was country, but we just tend to forget about them. And I don't think Ozzy will be forgotten about for a very, very long time. I'm sure this is hitting the music community like a ton of bricks. Yep, the 1982 concert. Who can forget about people talking about Ozzy biting the head off of a bat? Real, not real? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he really did that? I don't know. He says he didn't do it. He had to get a rabies shot. Let's look at this. Did Ozzy really bite the head off a bat? Did Ozzy really? Let's see, shall we? And it says, yes, he did. Comes right up there. Yes, he did. During a concert in Des Moines, Iowa on January 20th of 1982, he initially mistook the bat for a rubber toy that a fan had thrown on stage. After biting it, he realized it was real and was subsequently treated for rabies. Oh my gosh. See, I don't know. You read things, real, not real, but I guess it was real. Let's do some Ozzy Osborne facts here. Let's see what we got. Well, we got 76 facts about Ozzy Osborne since Ozzy, 76 years old, passed away at the age of 76 years old. He got the name Ozzy as a kid, and it stuck forever. He had dyslexia, was bullied in school. Imagine that. Imagine, when you're bullied in school and then you get really famous and wealthy and you can turn around and go F you to everybody. I love that. And I'm sure he did some of that. I don't know. But hopefully he did, just to get that satisfaction. Let's see. He was open about his mental health. He was 15 when he left school, worked many, many jobs, including horn tuner and slaughterhouse worker. Wow, didn't know that. This is alleged. I mean, I just pulled up some facts about Ozzy so we can just, talk about him for a few minutes here. He spent 6 weeks in prison for robbing a clothing shop. Did he really do that? Did Ozzy really go to prison? Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I got to look it up. Let's see. Did he really go to prison? Yes, he did. He spent 6 weeks in Winson Green Prison in the UK after being unable to pay a fine for robbing a clothing store. That's real stuff. This happened before he became famous with Black Sabbath. So let's go ahead and look at more fun facts for Ozzy. A Beatles fan for life. She Loves You inspired him to become a musician. So, see, talking about the Beatles and Elvis, and of course the Stones, that rock, I mean, the Stones really roll into 70s rock where it all really started to take off. I mean, the Stones, of course, took off earlier than that in the 60s, but, Ozzy really was one of the ones to kick off a different type of rock and roll, metal. And of course, he was. How many people were not inspired by the Beatles? That's the list you want to go for because there's not going to be many. And in 1968, Ozzy became the lead singer of Black Sabbath, and Black Sabbath helped invent heavy metal as we know it, of course. Their first album came out in 1970. It was called Paranoid. Ozzy co-wrote Black Sabbath after Geezer Butler saw a dark figure at his bed. Interesting. He met Sharon Arden while she was working for her dad, Don Arden. And Ozzy thought that Sharon was way out of his league, but she clearly saw something in Ozzy. And decades later, they were still together. And of course, they went through their stuff. Like I said earlier, they went through their stuff. Ozzy did his things. He did his stuff, but they kept it going. And I have to say, I remember a while back when I was reading something about Ozzy and his past affairs and everything. I'm like, how did she do it? How did she stay? But she did. She stayed. Master of Reality hit top 10 in both the UK and the United States. Rolling Stone once trashed it, then called it one of the 500 greatest albums ever. Rolling Stone does that. They flip-flop. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath got rave reviews and marked a new level of artistry. Ozzy was fired from Sabbath in 1979 for being too messed up, even by Sabbath standards. And then he went on to form a solo band with Randy Rhoads, launching Blizzard of Oz in 1980, which went quadruple platinum and changed everything once again. Crazy Train became one of the most iconic rock songs of all time. And there is a mashup. Oh my gosh, I can't mash up Crazy Train. You got to listen to it. It's the best one. And I'm trying to think of the DJ's name, who DJ Cummerbund. If you have not heard, let me go ahead and I'm going to share that link because it is so good. Let me turn that sound off. I don't want to get in trouble. Let me go ahead and I will share this and link in the comments. Copy. Hey, Deej, how are you? All right, so there it is. Go and listen to that. It is really a phenomenal mashup of Crazy Train by the phenomenal DJ Cummerbund. He's great. And Randy Rhoads, as we all know, tragically died in a plane crash in 1982. So, they were just starting to kick everything off together, starting in 1980. And 2 years later, Randy was sadly gone. And Ozzy just kept on going after that. But of course, it did something to him. Then in 1983, he released Bark at the Moon, which was partly filmed at a sanatorium. Very fitting. The Ultimate Sin became his highest charting album at the time. He bit the head off a dove in 1981 at a record exec meeting. Now, wait a minute. I didn't know about that one. Let's dig into that a little bit. So Ozzy Dove. Ozzy, what the holy macaroni. Ozzy. I hate even putting this in the search bar, but it doesn't say anything about him biting the head. All right, head off a dove. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. This is from Mojo, from music.com. Ozzy Osborne bites the head off a dove. What? April 17th, 1979, Ozzy Osborne was fired from Black Sabbath. Then he went solo, and then, let's see, Okay. On March 27th, I'm thinking this is 1980, which, well, it says the album's American release date. So it has to be. Words and photos emerged saying that he'd bitten the heads off two white doves at the CBS sales convention in LA. Not sure what that proved or did, or I don't know. The plan had been for Ozzy to give a speech of thanks to his audience and then release three symbolic doves of peace. Nice. You released, very nice. You release the doves, they fly, they come back to the box, they go back home. However, according to biographer Mick Wall, Ozzy had been hitting the brandy hard. This is according to this article. I just remember this PR woman going on and on at me, he recalled to Wall. I pulled out one of these doves and bit its effing head off just to shut her up. That's not nice. Then I did it again, and that's when they threw me out. They said I'd never work for CBS again. Well, yeah, that would be a problem. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, so then move on to the next year, 1982, and he bites the head off a bat, which we already talked about. He accidentally peed on the Alamo in a dress and got banned from San Antonio. Like Ozzy was just not, your typical next door neighbor type of guy. He recorded No More Tears in 1991, featuring Mama, I'm Coming Home, and man, that's going to be one of the best tracks of all time. He announced his retirement in 1992, and then it goes ... for the first time. Like many artists. He won a Grammy in 1994 for I Don't Want to Change the World. Osmosis came out in 95, went double platinum. He formed the Ozfest tour with Sharon in 1996. Ozfest became a legendary metal institution. He broke records in merch sales, hitting $50 million. And then in 2002, the Osbournes reality show made him a household name for sure. It's like he just went into the mainstream. MTV brought him to everyone, which is just crazy. And he became MTV royalty, bleeped constantly, and loved by millions for sure. And he duetted with daughter Kelly on Changes in 2003, his first UK number one. He had a near fatal quad bike crash in 2003. 2005, he launched the Prince of Darkness box set. He covered the Beatles, Bowie, and the Rolling Stones. He judged X Factor UK in 2005. I forgot all about that. And returned to Sabbath for 13 in 2013, a number one hit. He released Black Rain in 2007 with a more serious tone. In 2010, Scream debuted with the single Let Me Hear You Scream. He appeared in CSI, World of Warcraft ads, and even Guitar Hero. He published his memoir, I Am Ozzy, in 2009. Just a hunch, it's probably going to start selling again, I would think. A plush bat with detachable head was sold to mark the 1982 bat incident. In 2020, he dropped Ordinary Man featuring Elton John and Post Malone. Wait a minute. When did he release that fabulous duet with Lita Ford? Lita. Because you know what? We got to talk about that. That Close My Eyes Forever. I mean, how do we not talk about that? And I had the honor of interviewing Lita quite some time ago, and she said they never even were together when that song was recorded. She did her part, he did his part. And let's see, this little bit says, the song was written by the two of them as a result of an accident in the studio, during which they both drank heavily and inadvertently wrote the lyrics to the song together. But from what I understand, the mix was done not together. It was done separately. I asked her about that song. I don't recall her saying they wrote it together, but they did write it together. But I don't recall her talking about the studio incident. Maybe when I talk to her again, I'll ask her. And let's see. He performed at the 2022 Commonwealth Games and NFL kickoff. He was featured on Post Malone's Take What You Want, a top 10 Billboard hit. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Sabbath in 2006 and inducted again as a solo artist in 2024. He's in the UK Music Hall of Fame twice. He's on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and Birmingham Walk of Stars. I mean, my God, this goes on forever. He won the Ivor Novello Lifetime Achievement Award in 2015. He had Parkinson's disease and performed seated at his final concert just a short time ago in 2025. And his last show was a benefit for 3 charities in Birmingham. He fathered 6 children and had 3 with Sharon. He had over 15 tattoos, including Ozzy across his knuckles, done with a needle and pencil lead. Oh my gosh. Oh. He loved Monty Python's Life of Brian. He was once invited to the White House and got a shout out from President Bush. I remember that. He was featured in the video game Brutal Legend. Oh, thank you. Here we go. He did a duet with Lita Ford, Close My Eyes Forever, that hit number 8 in the US. I think it was his only top 10 hit in the United States, I believe. So thank you for mentioning that, but it should have been further up the list, just saying. He was once banned from San Antonio for a decade, but forgiven later. Well, that's good, the whole dress incident. He recorded tribute to honor Randy Rhoads, the late Randy Rhoads. Zakk Wylde became his longest-running guitarist. He survived decades of alcohol and drug use and lived to tell it all. How many artists were able to do that? He was one of them. He revealed he had Parkinson's diagnosis in 2020. Okay, so I had thought he announced it in 2019, but that's when he was diagnosed. He helped make metal massive without ever learning to read music. Crazy. Crazy. He toured with Metallica, Slayer, and Marilyn Manson. His final tour was called No More Tours 2. In 2021, he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He had a tram named after him in Birmingham. He asked fans to donate to charity instead of celebrating his 65th birthday, and Ozzy passed away on July 22nd, today, 2025, after a life louder than hell and one hell of a legacy. And it goes on to say, rest in power, Ozzy. We will never stop screaming. And for that, I say, everyone, love your life today, because you just don't know what's going to happen today or tomorrow. Love your artists. Make the music matter. It's all we try to do here, is just make the music matter. Listen to what you love and let it bring you joy and happiness. Guys, I love you, love you, love you. Lots of love and prayers to Ozzy and his family, and I will see you soon.